Hello, hello. The recording is in progress, and we can move forward with our Bible class. Huzzah! All right, we are going to continue with Luke chapter 8, and we're going to look at, basically, it's stories of two miracles, and I like these two stories together. Somebody showed me how one miracle shows one idea, and the other miracle shows kind of an opposite idea that work together. And I can't remember who it was. I think it was a Bible teacher or preacher pointed that out. I thought, man, why didn't I think of that? It's a really good point. And so we're going to look at that. So if you want to open up your Bibles to Luke chapter 8, you can, or you can read along with me on my sheet of paper. We ended up, I like this. We ended up with this idea of trying to think about, are we letting the Word of God come around and affect our heart? Or are we letting it go away? Are we treating it so loosely that it's not even going to stick with us at all? And so here we're going to read two stories of miracles where people have the opportunity to be affected by the power of Jesus and what Jesus says. So we're going to start it's Luke chapter 8. Now we're in verse 22. Luke chapter 8, 22. Now it came to pass on one of those days that he entered into a boat. Who's the he?
Jesus.
Jesus entered into a boat, himself and his disciples. And he said unto them, let us go over unto the other side of the lake. And they launched forth. But as they sailed, he fell asleep. And there came a storm of wind on the lake, and they were filling with water and were in jeopardy. And they came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we perish. He awoke and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. And he said unto them, where is your faith? Being afraid, they marveled, saying one to another, who then is this that he commands even the winds and the water, and they obey him? All right. Have you guys heard this story before?
Yeah.
Such a great story. So we're going to draw a boat. It's going to be hard. I got to try to draw like Jesus. There's the boat, and I'll draw the water. But I got to draw the waves kind of like crashing around. And then Jesus, how do I draw Jesus asleep? I'll draw like a hand and a head. There he is. That's Jesus asleep. I'll give him his brown hair. He's kind of like he's cuddled up on the edge there. Usually he wears blue, so I'll give him a little bit of blue. So there's Jesus asleep in the boat, and the waves are crashing up and around like that. And we'll draw some scared guys in the boat. There's their scared. So they're all scared in the boat. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I was in this storm, I would be scared. Have you guys ever been in a regular boat on a nice calm day on a lake?
Oh, I have.
And then it can kind of feel like even if it's not very and I'll draw some wind. I'm drawing blue wind, so it looks like more waves, but you get the idea. Even if it's just a calm day and the boat starts shaking around, I mean, you can imagine how scary that would feel. Now, if it's even rougher than that, that would just be scary. So here they are, they're scared and they're looking at things, and Jesus is asleep. Now, here's the thing that's really surprising to me. How easy is it to fall asleep in a car when it's a long drive?
Not easy.
For some people, it's not easy, huh? Have you guys ever fallen asleep in the car before?
Yes.
I fall asleep every time I go driving. I fall asleep. I'm just driving and I go. No, I don't do that. But sometimes people fall asleep pretty easy, and some people have a hard time falling asleep. Now, imagine this. Let's say you're in your car and you do fall asleep. And then here's your car. I'll use my eraser. It's just driving along. You can sleep with that, right? Maybe it's driving along, it's got a curve. Maybe you can see. But if it's in the waves like this, and if it's bouncing up and down, how did Jesus stay asleep, do you think?
Maybe he was listening. It was really a miracle. He was probably just really tired.
Really tired?
He knew he was in charge, so he wasn't afraid.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a mix of those two ideas, that he was really tired, because every single story we find Jesus, what's he doing? He's healing, he's teaching, he's preaching, he's helping. So I think he really was tired. But I also think there's something about him being God and him being connected to God that he was not afraid of things the same way we are.
Or maybe it was because he was testing their faith.
And that could be part of it too. And he has this way of showing that he has strong faith even in scary circumstances, right? That's kind of the way that I think I need to be. I don't know how to get that way with everybody, but I want to get better in my peace and in not being afraid. So I think that that's a neat idea. Okay, so that's Jesus, and he's asleep in the storm, and they wake him up and they say, "Master, Master, we perish." And what does Jesus do? I'll even underline the words. He awoke.
Calms the water.
Yeah, he calms the water. How does he calm it?
Just speaks to it. Tells it.
He rebukes the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased. Now, here is something. Have you ever seen a mom before? Yeah, you guys.
Yes.
All right, you've seen a mom.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a child who's a little bit too crazy?
Yes.
You've probably seen that, or maybe even a daddy. And the
Yes.
mom comes in and says, "Hey, now." Up. And then all of a sudden, the crazy kid kind of calms down. Or maybe the crazy dad. Now, it doesn't happen every time, right? But have you seen some of they go, "Oh, hup," and it just stops it. That's like a rebuke, right? Sometimes moms have some pretty good power to them, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't always work, and it doesn't work with all people. Jesus stood in a boat. Let's draw this, because I think if we draw it, we're going to get a sense of how funny this is. I'm not saying that Jesus is funny. I'm saying that what happened is funny. All right, we'll draw calm water. And we'll draw the little boat, kind of like in the water here. And here's Jesus.
Mr. Dan, could you move your paper up a little bit?
There we go. Thanks. There he is. He's just saying, "Stop it. Be quiet. Peace. Be still." Maybe I could draw him like he's got his pointer finger. It's like he's pointing. "Hey, I'm talking to you, waves. I'm talking to you, wind." Like, that just doesn't work. It sometimes works for moms with a kid. Sometimes if you train your doggy really well, you say, "Sit," and it sits. But like, he just said it to the sky and the water, and it stopped. I think it's pretty important to think about how powerful that is. Sometimes when I feel upset and I think, "Oh, I need to calm down," I don't even know how to calm myself down. How did he calm down the wind and the waves?
Because he had power.
Because he had power. And how powerful are winds and waves? Well, they're pretty powerful, and he had more. I think that that's really special. And so what does Jesus then say? First, he says to the wind and the waves, "Be quiet and still." And then he says, "Where is your faith?"
Yeah.
There's something about they didn't believe enough. They didn't have the faith that they were supposed to. And I wonder if they kind of felt a little bit of shame. It did say that they were scared. I'm going to draw them a little bit amazed here. They were super scared, And then they get kind of calmed down. They wonder, who is this? Now, what's the answer? Who is this? Do you guys know the answer?
Jesus.
Jesus. Jesus. Did they know it was Jesus?
Yes.
Yes. So what do they mean, who is this? They already knew who it was. What do they mean, who is this?
I wonder if they haven't quite grasped it yet, that he's the son.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, they know it's Jesus, but they're kind of beginning to learn, what does it mean if he's Jesus? He's also God and things.
Mr. Dan,
Mhm.
it also kind of reminds me when God was creating the earth and he just spoke and it happened.
Yeah. That's a wonderful connection. That's an important connection. When God speaks or when Jesus speaks, the things happen.
Yeah.
Another important thing to remember is the Bible is God speaking. And if God speaks that we need to do something, what should we do?
Do it.
We should do it. We should happen it, right? That's it. We need to obey just like the winds and the waves. All right, so let's look at the next story. Oh, wait, first I'm going to say this. Whoop, wrong button. Here. No, I think we're going to do the story. I'll do the drawing next. Okay. Okay, we are in Luke chapter 8 now in verse 26. And they arrived at the country of the Gerasenes. So let me move down the camera, which is over against Galilee. And when he was come forth upon the land, there met him a certain man out of the city who had devils, or maybe your translations will say demons. He had demons in him. For a long time he had worn no clothes. Oh my goodness. And abode not in any house, but in the tombs. And when he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him with a loud voice and said, "What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not." This is kind of a scary and intense story. So now we got to draw. Here's Jesus, and Jesus comes out from being in the boat. And here's this kind of crazy guy. And I'm going to have his arms and fists. And it says that he falls down before Jesus. So I'm going to kind of have him crouch down on his knees. And where has he been living? Do we need to draw a house around him?
The tomb.
Tombs. We'll draw little gravestones behind him. This is probably not what it was, right? Remember, Jesus, did he get buried underground with a tombstone?
No.
No, it's more like caves, right? But I'm just going to draw little tombs because that's kind of what we're used to. Because what does it mean if you're living out in the tombs and in the graves? Does that mean that you're living a nice, wonderful life?
Kind of dead. No.
Yeah. What does it mean if you're running around with no clothes on? Does that mean you're having a good life?
World.
No. It's kind of ugly. He's got this crazy life and it's not going well for him, right? I don't know what's wrong with his legs. That's why I drew him the squiggly mouth, squiggly mark mouth, because he's just having a hard time. Okay, and so here's Jesus. And he says, "What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not." Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He's asking Jesus to not torment him. Wait a minute. Has Jesus ever tormented anybody?
No. No.
No. No. Atticus, I see your hand up. What's your question? Oh, I think you need to unmute. I think it got muted on you. Do you not hit the space bar? Nope. There we go.
What are tombs?
What are tombs?
Yeah.
The tombs would be probably the graves and the grave site, and maybe back then it'd be caves where they buried the dead people. So he's living in the dead people place. All right, the Dobbs families have a hand up.
I think that this might be the demons that have taken over him talking, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Because Jesus doesn't hurt people. He doesn't torment people, but the demons recognize Jesus. Jesus has some judgment. And they're going to be in trouble because they're demons. I think that's a good connection. Good job. All right. The man says, or the demons in him say, I beseech thee, torment me not. For he commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For oftentimes it had seized him, and he was kept under guard and bound with chains and with fetters, and breaking the bands asunder, he was driven of the devil into the deserts. Okay, so this man, it says that he's living in the deserts and he's living in the tombs. He's got chains and like it's kind of like handcuffs. People would handcuff him. I'm gonna draw little chains on him. Okay. They try to handcuff him to keep him steady and to hold him under control. But he would break the handcuffs and break the chains. So think about that. How hard is it to break a chain?
Really hard.
Really hard. And his hands were chained and he would break them. What do you
Maybe
think
he's
he did to
really
his-
mad.
Yes. How do you think his hands looked?
Ow.
Well, like, is it hard to break a stick? You take a stick and you kind of like crack it on your knee and it kind of hurts your hand a little bit, hurts your knee a little bit. What if you did that with metal? He's probably got cuts and hurts. He's living out there in the tombs and the rocks and the graves. He doesn't have any clothes on. He's probably dirty and he's hurt. He's probably pretty scary looking. And maybe he has cuts on him and hours, no Band-Aids. This poor guy. Okay, so he was out there. And Jesus asked him, what is thy name? And he said, Legion, for many devils or many demons were entered into him. He didn't just have one, he had many. And he entreated him that he would not command them to depart into the abyss. And so here's the problem. Here's this guy. He's angry because he's got all these demons in him. And I don't know what this all means in the Bible, but if Jesus commands the demons to go out, they're afraid that they're going to go into what? Into the abyss. And it's almost like there's this dark hole maybe where Jesus is wanting them all to go. And they did not want to go down there. And they're saying, no, don't make us go down to the abyss. That means this is something important to think about. That means the demons were scared of Jesus. That's how powerful Jesus is. That's how powerful Jesus is. They're afraid of him. But there were a herd of many swine feeding on the mountain. And they entreated him that he would give them to leave into them. What is a swine?
It's a whole pig.
It's a pig. All right, now we get to draw a bunch of pigs. This is so much fun. Just draw the piggy noses and the piggy eyes and the piggy ears. And a big old blob and a big old feet blobs. So this is a whole bunch of pigs. A whole bunch of pigs. So the demons didn't want to go into the abyss. Where did they want to go?
Pigs.
They wanted to go into the pigs. They want to go into the swine. I think that's funny. It's kind of weird. This is just, guys, this is kind of a weird story. I don't understand demons, and that's okay. I don't care. I don't even know what demons are like. But they were afraid of Jesus, and they didn't want to go into the abyss. They didn't want to go into punishment. They'd rather be in pigs. What does Jesus do?
He says put them in the pig.
Yep. And he gave them, flip it over, he gave them leave, which is to say he gave them permission. And the devils came out of the man and entered into the swine, and the herd rushed down the steep into the lake and were choked. And they that fed them saw what had come to pass, and they fled, and they told it in the city and in the country. So I'm going to draw here's what happened. Jesus lets the
They-
demons go into the
They
pig,
went into the pigs and then they were
In the water.
getting crazy and they went it.
right into
So-
the water. Yes, yes. So now we have to draw pigs going crazy. Now here's a question I have. First let me draw. I'll draw like here's the grass, and then I'm gonna draw like a cliff. And then here's like the edge of the cliff, and then the water down here. So there's the water, and then we got pigs going crazy. And you're going into the water. All right, so I guess I'm drawing pigs angry. I don't really know how to draw pigs crazy going in the. Oh, and there's the pig already in the water, but he's got his little squiggly tail. I didn't draw little piggy tails. We gotta draw a little piggy tail. There we go. I don't have pink. I have red, but that's not really gonna work. So there's the pigs and they're jumping into the water. And here's my question. I don't know the answer to this. Did the demons make the pigs go into the water? Or did the pig say, nope, I don't want to have a demon, and the pig chose to go into the water? I don't know.
Or maybe Jesus told the pigs to go in the water.
Or Jesus told them to go into the water. I don't know. There are so many questions about this story that I just think, well, I'm just going to think about it and I'm going to let it be. I'm not going to say, I know exactly what a demon thinks. I don't know what a demon thinks. I know exactly what a pig thinks when it's got a demon inside it. I don't know what a pig thinks when it's got a demon inside it. But all I know is that the demons, I don't think they got what they wanted. I think they still got punishment. That's what I think.
I wonder what happens to demons once the creatures they're in die.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
would
what
they like die too, or goes into?
Yeah, I wonder if they go to the abyss anyways. That's my big question. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I wonder if the pigs win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's something. What do you think all the workers and the pig owners think when they see this happening?
They're probably furious.
Or scared? I'm going to draw one angry and one scared, right? There's a fist and there's scared hands. I don't know if they're angry or scared. I think it's probably a mixture. And so they go and they tell everybody what happens, okay? And they went out to see what had come to pass, and they came to Jesus and found the man from whom the devils were gone out, sitting, clothed, and in his right mind, and at the feet of Jesus. And they were afraid. So here we have, I'm going to start drawing this on the board now. This is the thing. So the pig owners go, "Wah!" And they go back into town. They say, you got to come see what happened. You got to come see what happened. The pigs and the crazy guy, you got to come see what happened. And when they all come to see Jesus, what do they see? What do they see?
They see the man in his right mind and clothes.
Right. And what does that mean, in his right mind?
It means he's all better.
He's not.
Yes. Yes. It means he's better. He was in his wrong mind when he had all those demons and things in him, but now he's in his right mind. So we're going to draw Jesus. Here's Jesus. And they see the man in his right mind sitting. Does the guy full of demons sounds like he's sitting a lot or running around crazy a lot?
Crazy.
So when they see him sitting still, okay. How many times have you ever seen a mom tell a kid, shh, sit still?
Yes.
Yes.
And is it easy for the kid to sit still?
No.
Oh.
But here, this man who had all the demons, he's sitting still. And what is he wearing?
They're like clothes.
He's wearing clothes. I'm glad he's wearing clothes. Oh, wait. I was trying to draw him sitting there, like holding his hands, and it didn't do a good job. Hold on. Let me draw him here. I'm not very good at drawing people sitting. I'll draw him kneeling. There he is. But I'm still gonna draw, I'm gonna draw the handcuff chains on him, so that we remember who he is. But also, I don't know if Jesus could have taken him. I mean, Jesus has power, but like, remember he had these chains.
Yeah.
And so maybe they'll know, oh, that's definitely him, because those are those chains that we put on him before. Does this guy look like he's demon possessed?
No.
No. And then here come all the people, and they come and they see it. All right. And it said they see the man. Well, I'll get the text out so you guys can read along with me. They see the man, they found the man with whom the devils had gone out, sitting, I'll even underline it, sitting, clothed, and in his right mind at the feet of Jesus, and they were afraid. And they saw that it told them how he was possessed of devils, was made whole. And all the people of that country, of the Gerasenes round about, asked him to depart from them, for they were holden with great fear. And he entered into the boat. So what are we going to draw these people feeling?
Scared.
Scared. We're going to draw them scared. And what do they ask Jesus to do?
Leave.
Yeah, leave. They're pointing their fingers. Get out of here. Putting up a hand, saying like, no. We don't want you around. Get out of here. Go, go. Now, if they're sad about losing all their farming pigs, I understand why they'd be upset. That makes sense. But here is a man. Here is a man. What was he like before?
Demon possessed.
Crazy.
He was out of control. His brain was on fire. His heart was a storm. Does that make sense? Does that seem to describe it?
No.
Yeah.
He used to be before like this. Right? And everybody has a heart. But I bet his heart was all messed up, full of storm. I'm going to draw like stormy colors and stormy winds blowing around. And even his brains, right? Everyone's got brains. What do you think his brains were like? I guess that's kind of looking like here. They were like, what? Stormy? I'm going to draw like explosions.
Looks like he has really weird hair now.
Yeah. I don't know how to draw. I don't know how to draw.
Do you have red?
feeling. I do have red. Oh, yeah, I do red like fire. Okay. Good call.
Or you could draw some TNT.
Yeah, I could draw some TNT, that's for sure.
Draw little stars.
Ah, yeah,
And
that's the
squiggly.
symbol. Well, now it's just getting full. Okay. Anyway,
TNT.
he was like out of control, crazy, losing his mind, demons possessing him. It didn't really matter if it was rainy or if it was a pretty day outside. he was storming in his brains. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Even on a good day, he's having a bad day. And Jesus made him like this. And that's the thing. Jesus can do that with anybody. Have you ever had a bad day?
Yes.
Have you ever had stormy
Yes.
anger? Frustrated feelings? Stubbed toe hurts?
Yes.
Your mom says something you didn't want to have to do?
Yes.
Your dad tells you stop it and settle down? All that stuff. All that stuff. You feel that and you're like this guy. Blah! What did Jesus do for him?
He helped him.
He helped him out. What did Jesus do on the way to this place? Do you remember?
He made go.
He didn't
Calm the
just,
storm.
he calmed the storm. So here's the boat. I'll try to draw the boat real quick. I don't have a lot of time here. And remember how the guys were in the boat going, oh no! Because there was all this wind and wave.
Both had storms.
They both had storms, didn't they? That's what somebody showed me in this story. Both of these stories are about kinds of storms. Where does the first storm happen?
It's real storm. Jesus told.
It's like a real storm outside in the sea, outside of their bodies. It was happening to them outside, right?
Right.
Have you ever seen a storm happening to people outside? Yeah. Where did the second storm show up?
And the man.
Inside the person. Have you ever felt a storm happening inside you?
When no man.
Yeah. I love these two stories. Storms happening outside, storms happening inside. What can Jesus do?
Fix them.
He can fix them both. He can fix them both. If we're scared about what's happening outside, Jesus can fix it. If we're upset about what's happening inside, Jesus can fix it. But what do these people think? Do they think, wow, Jesus is great and Jesus is powerful and we should keep him here?
No.
We're scared.
They're scared. They don't want to have it. All right, well, let's finish the story. The ending always surprises me. So Jesus entered into the boat and returned. But the man from whom the devils were gone out prayed him that he might be with him. But Jesus sent him away, saying, return to your house and declare how great things God has done for thee. And he went his way, publishing throughout the whole city how great things Jesus had done for him. The man who used to be full of demons and crazy wants to go with Jesus. And he's pleading, can I come? And what does Jesus say?
No.
No. And I always kind of feel a little bit sad for him. So first I'm going to put sadness on him. I'll put the chains on him still, so we know who we're talking about. Because doesn't Jesus want people to be with him?
Yeah.
Yes. So why does Jesus say, no, you can't come?
It's because he's going to come as heaven.
He is going to see him in heaven. Right.
Him to tell people about what great things have happened to him.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So he was crazy storm, and now he's calmed down. But instead of coming with Jesus, is he kind of with Jesus in spirit?
Yes.
Yeah. So he sends this man instead, go preach to these people. Go tell them your story. Go show them your chains. I mean, and ask them to get taken off. Go talk to them. Oh, let's see, the Dobbs family. You guys got your hand up. What's your question? Maybe not anymore. All right. So I think that this is so interesting. Instead of coming with Jesus, he gets sent out to preach. So I'll draw the preaching hand, but it's got a chain on it. Remember, this is something else that another teacher taught me. Remember how he lived in the tombs and how he lived through that time, breaking chains off his body. And I was talking about his cuts and his scars and his marks.
Ugh.
I wonder if he looked like that. He probably took the chain off, right? He probably combed his hair and put on a nice shirt. But what if he got a cut on his face from when he was crazy with the demon? Do you think that mark might stay on his face?
No.
Yes.
I bet it might stay.
God would heal it.
It could heal. But even I have scars on my hands from accidents that I've had when I was younger. And he could say, look, I used to be out of control. I used to be like this guy. I used to be crazy. Wait, where's the picture? There he is. I used to be crazy. But Jesus made me whole, and he sent me to you to teach. I love this story. Jesus can stop all the crazy storms going on outside. He can help us with all the crazy storms going inside, and we need to come to him. Jesus is so good. All right, well, that's what we're going to be reading for today. Do you guys have any questions before I turn off the recording? Yes, Mr. Tweedy, I see your hand up.
Well, I do have a big boo-boo on my back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happens. Those big boo-boos. Let's see. I see a hand up. Little Miss Josie, did you have a question you wanted to ask? What's your question?
I know something. God is powerful and strong.
Yes. God is helpful and strong. He's strong enough to help with this storm. He's strong enough to help with this storm, and he's helpful. He's so helpful. That's a really good point. All right. With that, I will say goodbye, and I'll turn off the recording, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.